Body. Sorry, we're a whisker late. Stephen and Dianne, please.
You can have that. And that. Thank you.
How are you, mate?
Hello.
Yes.
I'm just going to read out. This is probably different from what you've got in front of you, I believe. But these are sort of like main points. I think we need to be realistic about our role in the world and realise, for example, that the sea level in Lyttelton Harbour will not be determined by how many people in Christchurch ride the bus. It will be determined by the big players like China, India, the US, and how many wars are taking place across the globe. We can only control this small part of New Zealand, and what you do as a council will have a massive effect on the lives of the people who live here. We have over a $2 billion debt, of which the interest rate will grow, as it will be connected to our unrealistic emission targets that we already cannot keep. We need to be realistic about what we can do without bankrupting our city and all the people living in it. What matters most is improving the lives of the people. One project with a big price tag that could be delayed is the Red Zone and Avon River Corridor. I actually like the Red Zone the way it is, open without too many trees and a little wild. I like the idea of letting nature take its course instead of imposing what we think it should look like. A large piece of it has already been transformed into a wetland area for flood protection, and in other places, the Horseshoe Lake, nature is already turning it into a wetland without our help. The Avon River Corridor and Red Zone project can wait until we no longer have such a massive debt. Then the area may have already changed the way Mother Nature wants it to be instead of what we think it should be. This is only one project that could be paused. There are many more. I attended a meeting in Merivale where Pauline and Jamie spoke about the long-term plan. Around 40 people attended, mostly retired people, as it was in the morning. Something that surprised me was how many were concerned about losing their home that they had worked so hard for all their lives. You may think that those in Merivale are all rich and would be okay, but many live in modest two-bedroom homes and some in social housing. All these that spoke up were struggling and anxious about losing their homes and worried about the price of food, etc. Talk was about being asset rich and cash poor. I have friends and family living in the East, and they have the same struggles. Some are younger and tell me that they have little hope for the future, and at times they feel like slaves, as even though they are working hard, their pay barely meets their needs. When I looked at all the projects intended for Christchurch, I mainly asked myself, how will this help the people of Christchurch, wherever they live, and if it's worth making them homeless to gold plate this or that project? Road cones are meant to keep workers safe, but they are overused, too close together, and have become meaningless, as they are often far from any actual work being done. Drivers then begin to dismiss them, which is contrary to their purpose. I've been told road cones cost the ratepayer $5 per day per cone, which adds up very quickly and is something that needs to be managed better. We cannot continue to waste our money in this way. A thriving, inclusive, and sustainable city is one where safety is understood to be about much more than road safety alone. If families and individuals are struggling to feed themselves, struggling to heat their homes, feeling like slaves, with wages not meeting needs, people become desperate and crime inevitably increases. A city doesn't thrive if the people aren't able to spend a little in the local shops and cafes, let alone put food on the table or go to the doctor when needed. How are we including the elderly, the injured, and those with disabilities if we exclude access to those that are unable to cycle or take the bus? Roads and cars will always be an important part of any city. If you want to abide by your own stated priorities, rates must be affordable if they are to be sustainable. When you come to discuss and make your decisions about all of this, I want you to think of all the people. Think of all the people of Christchurch. We are all one and the same, no matter what part of the city a person lives in. Many people are feeling anxious about the future. People want to feel hope in the future, hope that Christchurch is a good place to live, an affordable place to live, a place which is a truly thriving, inclusive, and sustainable city for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I cannot agree with you more on road cones. We're getting swamped by them. It's overkill. So
It's like a plague.
it is. It is.
A plague upon the masses.
Yeah. So thank you very much for your
Thank you,
submission.
Phil.
Okay, Ian, please.